Welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today I'll be your host. Today we are talking about the NFL. We're talking about some of the biggest storylines going into this upcoming week of NFL football. And then we want to start with the Dallas Cowboys in a must-win situation against the Giants to start off this week. And they're traveling to New York. It is supposed to be poor weather conditions out there. I think it's supposed to be raining in the forecast. And it has been raining in Dallas just with the drama that is going on there, because you see Dak Prescott getting into it with CeeDee Lamb. Both of those players just got paid over the offseason. You have Jerry Jones coming out and saying that he takes responsibility for the Dallas Cowboys taking these early losses like this, as they have lost 2 home games and they haven't looked very good at all. And especially on the defensive end, teams have been able to run it down the field on the Dallas Cowboys. They have not been able to stop the run. And it looks like initially, once you get past their front four, their linebackers are just a bit small back there, and they have just been getting taken advantage of in the run game. And so, I'm curious to see if the Dallas Cowboys can fix this. This kind of dates back to last season, where the Green Bay Packers were able to take advantage of the Dallas Cowboys on the ground. And I think you're going to see a lot of that in this particular game. I know they don't necessarily have a great runner like Saquon Barkley, but I think that this is the game where you do see Daniel Jones start to take advantage of that defense and make it tough for the Dallas Cowboys. And I just think that, Dallas has got to figure it out, because they don't have a run game like they've had in the past. They don't have the offensive linemen like they've had in the past as well to kind of open up those holes for their run game. And I don't think that Dak Prescott is going to be able to lead this team just throwing the football 40, 50 times. And so I think that they've got to figure out a way to be more balanced, play more complementary football. But this is going to be a huge test. And I do feel like this is a must win for the Dallas Cowboys moving forward for this upcoming week of football. Next up, we talk about one of the bigger games, and that is going to be the Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers. Sam Darnold has been amazing at 3-0. I think he could possibly be the comeback player of the year in the NFL this year. I'd love to see Jordan Love be able to make it back for this game. I think that this is huge for the Minnesota Vikings. I think that Sam Darnold has been on the same page with Justin Jefferson. They've been playing complementary football, and I want to see them continue to keep it rolling against the Green Bay Packers, who I think are they're very capable of not only winning this division, but I think that they can make some real noise in the playoffs. And so I think that this would be another huge win for the Minnesota Vikings if they can get it done. I think that this is huge for the Green Bay Packers if they can get it done without Jordan Love, or even if he does come back to take down a Minnesota Vikings team that's already taken down the San Francisco 49ers. I think that that's a win-win either way when you look at this particular contest. Next up, how about the Washington Commanders and the Arizona Cardinals? Hello, Jaden Daniels. All right. He just had quite a day on Monday Night Football. Pretty incredible for this young man. I mean, he was able to come out 254, 2 touchdowns, 141 yards, or excuse me, 141 QBR rating. I'm sorry. And so, yeah, he was it was just a coming out party for the Washington Commanders offensively, 38 points. Curious to see, can he continue this? All right. And because the Arizona Cardinals, they're a very vulnerable team, especially against the run. The Washington Commanders are not very good defensively, but it looks like the Commanders may have found a franchise quarterback, and it has been quite an issue for the Commanders franchise. They have not been able to find a quarterback. And so it looks like they found one now. Next up, I think Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who would have thought that the Jacksonville Jaguars would be 0-3? It doesn't get any better for them going against the Houston Texans, who are just coming off a loss to the Minnesota Vikings, in fact. And so that's another big win for Minnesota. But, Jacksonville has got to get a win. They've got to get a win on the road against the Texans. I mean, that's a must-win situation for them. Kansas City Los Angeles Chargers. And so you saw that Justin Herbert went out in this last game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of re-aggravated that ankle. Question is, can he come back? I think that they are going to need Justin Herbert for the long term here if they're going to continue on winning football games. And so do you rest him now against the Kansas City Chiefs? Hope that you can get him healthy enough for the midway point or the back half of the season. That's going to be quite a decision for Jim Harbaugh and that staff against a tough Kansas City Chiefs team that all they do is continue to win football games. Next up, Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens. Who would have thought that the Ravens would have the worst record between the two of these? All right. And so 1-2 for the Ravens, 3-0 for the Bills. I did not have that slated in my predictions because I thought that the Buffalo Bills were going to struggle. They had lost a ton of wide receivers, but they've looked very good. Josh Allen has looked like an MVP candidate the way he has been able to spread the football around. The offense has been very electric, and defensively, they have found ways to get the ball turned over. And I thought that that was going to be one of the things that they would struggle with as well, is turning the football over. But no, they've looked very, very good in what they've been able to do. And I'd say lastly, the last storyline to really focus on is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Carolina Panthers. Who would have thought that the Bengals would be 0-3 going into this particular game? I still think that the Bengals can still make some noise. They don't have any issues at the quarterback play. I don't think that that's going to be the issue for them. I just think that they've got to figure out now what they want to do running the football to complement Joe Burrow because they lost Joe Mixon. I think that that was huge for them. And they don't have anything outside of Jamar Chase. This has been something that was a little bit of a surprise for me when I looked at Cincinnati and just the way that they've been able to kind of spread the ball around the field. In the past, just when they were coming off a Super Bowl appearance, it seemed like they had so many different ways that they could get you. And it looks like, this offense is, it's not one-dimensional, but it's certainly not as dynamic as it's been in the past. But the Bengals have to get a win, all right? They've got to get one. I mean, because they're right there because Cleveland's 1-2, Baltimore's 1-2. You need to get the win to get back into the race. I think that they can still get in there. I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to be able to hold on to this momentum, but I think that these teams can be had and they can actually come back into this thing and we'll see what happens. So let me know what you're thinking in the comments as we get ready to head into week 4. Let me know if you feel like the Dallas Cowboys are in a must-win situation or you feel like all is well in Big D. Let me know what you're thinking. This is Rico. This is Real Talk Sports. And we will be back with another episode of Real Talk Sports as we continue to talk about the NFL season. And then also, too, we got the NBA season. Training camp is set to start in, about a week. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.